Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Monday, the 14th of September. And I hope you have a wonderful start to your week, folks. Hi, I'm Paul. I'll be your host this morning. And in the news today, can captains not get Australia Series win? We have updates from the Mitre 10 Cup and Farah Palmer Cup. The Warriors are out of the finals. That's NRL, folks, not any other sports. There's lots of Warriors teams out there. We've got updates from the ANA Inspiration, Safeway Open and Portugal Masters in the golf. Keep you up to date with how the NBA finals are going. We have lots of cycling news in the Tour de France, the Giro Rosa and Tirreno Adriatico. Osaka has won the Women's US Open. And the NFL has kicked off as well. Yes, your best way to start the day up to speed with all of the important sports news. Folks, I know there's also IndyCar news. I will have to do some quick searching for that as the show goes on as well, with Scott Dixon racing over there in the USA. But let's kick off with that, with the golf then. And in the ANA Inspiration, Lydia Ko is currently tied at 14th there. The fourth round is underway, or it's going live now, and she is on the 12th hole. Sorry. Trying to find my mute there before so I can sneeze. In that one, Tim Wilkinson is about to tee off at 8 a.m. In the that's better. In the Safeway Open over in there, and he is 12th, tied 12th in that one, 13 under par. Only 3 shots off the lead in that one. In the European Tour and the Portugal Masters has completed. Ryan Fox finished tied at 32nd at 5 under, 11 shots behind the leader there. I'm going to hand you over to Ashwin, who's going to take us through our cricket update.
Good morning, Paul, and good morning to our viewers and listeners as we go through a myriad of technical issues this morning and hay fever pandemic in the Hamilton studios as well. So, yes, dramas all over the place. And dramas happening in the ODI as well. As Paul said, we're looking for a captain's knock to get Australia the series win. Aaron Finch has Australia on the way to a series clinching win this morning in the second ODI against England, but things are developing very quickly there, and I'll update you very shortly. Anyway, firstly, England won the toss and decided to bat first, but they struggled through to 231 for 9. Lots of starts for England, but nobody going on to a big score. And Adil Rashid and Tom Curran actually stopping an absolute disaster for England with a solid 9th wicket partnership. England were at one stage 149 for 8 in the 41st over before the Rashid and Curran partnership. Australia were cruising along before 3 quick wickets just as we're coming to air. Has seen Australia now on 149 for 6. Finch and Labuschagne were cruising. And absolutely, I know Hugh. Sorry, I just came on air and I forgot my cap. But yeah, Australia were cruising along. Finch and Labuschagne going along nicely. Both of them departing very quickly within each other. And Glenn Maxwell has also not troubled the scorers and gone back to the hut. And so now we have basically Alex Carey and Pat Cummins trying to control the damage. And Australia, as I said, now 149 for 6. Cummins and Carey both on 1 and just coming to the crease. Moving on, and Sri Lanka cricket have told BCB, the Bangladesh Cricket Board, that they will have to quarantine for a week once they reach Sri Lanka. Now, it had been thought that Bangladesh would basically be able to go straight into it when they arrived in Sri Lanka and start training. But this will not be the case. And now it looks likely that the tour schedule will have to change to accommodate the week's quarantine. So basically, to summarize, they'll go into a week's quarantine before they can actually start going out and training. And just tidying up a bit of the CPL, which was won by the Trinbago Knight Riders over the weekend, Brendan McCullum got his charges in the CPL ready by showing them clips of The Last Dance. Now, that's not some rom-com. That's the mini documentary series about Michael Jordan and how the Chicago Bulls won 6 NBA titles in the 90s. It seems to be working for the Knight Riders as they look to build a similar dynasty. They went this year 12 from 12. That's winning all 12 matches, including the semi-final and obviously the final, and now have won 4 of their last 6 editions of the CPL. So things going along very well there for the Trinbago Knight Riders. And Paul, that's all I've got today in cricket.
Thank you very much, Ashwin, and we'll hand you over to Stephen, who'll take us through our birthdays this update, this today.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the start of a new week. Boy, where did that weekend go? In birthdays today, a man who was born in Tokoroa ends up playing for Scotland, a former New Zealand cricketer from a famous cricketing family, and finally, we have got a very, very promising lock who played for Auckland and the Blues and, of course, the Hurricanes, but went over to play for Worcester this year, and that's where we start. Michael Fatialofa, born this day, the 14th of September, 1992, in New Zealand. Auckland is a rugby union player who currently plays for lock at lock for Worcester Warriors. He also represented Southland at ITM Cup between 2011 and 2014, Auckland between 2015 and 2018, the Hurricanes between 2016 and 2018, and of course currently at the Worcester Warriors. Now, he joined the Worcester Warriors in 2018, but he has had a serious injury. He signed in 2018 in the Aviva Premiership, currently that's what it says on Google here, between 2018 2019. Now, in January this year, he suffered a serious neck injury in a match against the Saracens. He underwent surgery and left intensive care on the 23rd of January after he was told to prepare for life in a wheelchair. In fact, he was able to walk unaided by March 2020. His recovery was described by his wife as truly miraculous. There you go. I don't know if he'll ever play rugby again, but who knows? You never know. The power of the human body and human mind is a wonderful thing. Moving on to cricket, Jeff Crow, born this day, the 14th of September 1950, as a former New Zealand cricketer. He had played Test and one-day cricket for New Zealand from 1993 to 1990, and first-class cricket for South Australia and then Auckland. He has been an ICC match referee since 2004. He made his Test debut against Sri Lanka in 1983, and his last match was against Australia in 1990. He is also the brother, got some famous relatives of the late Martin Crowe. His father was Dave Crowe, and other people were Francis Jervis, who was his great grandfather. So that's Jeff Crow celebrating his birthday today. Moving right along, Sean Maitland, born this day, the 14th of September 1988, is a New Zealand-born Scottish rugby union player. He plays for Saracens in the English Premiership. He previously played for London Irish, and before that, the Glasgow Warriors in the Pro 12, Crusaders in Super Rugby, and Canterbury in the Mitre 10 Cup. Now, he is also a relative of Australian first five Quade Cooper and Pele Cowley, who's the current player for Counties Manukau and the Samoan Halfback International. That's our birthdays today, Paul. I'll be back shortly with all the league news.
Thank you very much, Stephen, for that. Let's hope they all have some nice cake today on their birthday. Then in the IndyCar, Scott Dixon has qualified third on the grid for the Mid-Ohio race. The Honda Indy 200. At the Mid-Ohio. Good luck to him in the actual race itself. Over in the Formula One. At the Tuscan Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton won his 90th race, coming first. Second was his teammate Bottas, with Alex Albon, the Red Bull driver, in third there. Moving on then and into the NBA, we have a live game at the moment with the Clippers playing the Nuggets. Looks like it's 79 to 77. So a tight one there. The Clippers currently lead the series 3-2. So if they win this one, they go through. The Nuggets need this one to keep things alive. Miami and Boston will be the conference finals on the East. And these two teams are playing off to see who will play the LA Lakers in the West. I'm going to hand you back to Stephen, who will take us through our NRL update for the sport that just keeps on giving.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Well, for the Warriors, they just didn't give enough because they are out of the playoffs, and the Storm too good for the Cowboys. But we'll start with the first game yesterday, which was the Storm versus the Cowboys. The Storm proved far too good for the Cowboys, winning by 36 points to 20 after leading by 24 points to 4 on the Sunshine Coast Stadium in our early game. In total, it looks like the Storm scored 6 tries to the Cowboys, who eventually scored 4 tries of their own, but it was a double from Cameron Munster, who scored a try in the 37th minute and the 44th minute that did the business for the Melbourne Storm. The rest of the tries coming from Jerome Hughes, Nelson Asofo, Solomona, Josh Adokar, and Tino Fa'asura Maluele, who scored in the 13th minute. The rest of the points coming via way of the boot from Cameron Smith, who kicked 6 goals. Cowboys points coming from Kyle Felt, Valentine Holmes, Eason Masters, and Hamish Tabo Fido, who scored in the 4th minute. In fact, they opened the scoring, did the Cowboys. The rest of the points coming from Valentine Holmes in the 50th, 58th and the 70th minute. That final score again, Storm 36, Cowboys 20. That keeps them ensconced in second place. And unfortunately, if you're a Warrior supporter, well, playoff hopes are over. They were beaten 22-14 by the Cronulla Sharks after the Sharkies led by 12 points to 6 at halftime. The Sharks all up scored 4 tries to 2. This game played at Nestra Jubilee Stadium. The Warriors were in the contest, especially with time almost up. They were actually leading by 14 points to 12, but 2 late tries to the Sharks, to Toby Rudolph and also Ronaldo Mulitalo, who bagged a double. That was his second try after scoring in the 30th minute of play. Pretty much wrapped it up for the Sharks. The rest of the points coming from a Sione Katoa try in the 12th minute. Sean Johnson kicked 2 goals and 1 penalty, and for the Warriors, a try either side of half time to Jack Murchie in the 36th minute and Adam Pompey in the 51st minute. The rest of the points coming via the boot of Chanel Harris-Tavita, who kicked 2 conversions and a penalty. Very much a missed opportunity for the Warriors, just imploded in those vital minutes. So they're pretty much with 2 games to go in the round, just playing for pride. If we go to look at the table, thus far, our top 8, the Panthers, really looking good. Probably just need one more win to seal the minor premiership, sitting on 33 points. The Storm on 30 points. The Roosters and Eels on 26 apiece in the top 4. The Raiders on 24. The Rabbitohs on 22. The Knights on 21. And the Sharks on 20, who can't be caught from their position of strength, sitting with 2 rounds to go, sitting on 20 points. And then you're back to the Warriors, Sea Eagles, and Warriors all on 14 points. In fact, add the Titans to 14 points. What an amazing story they've been. Remember, they were pretty much anchored to the bottom of the table pre-COVID, and even as we came out of COVID, they were anchored to the bottom. But I'm pretty sure the guys, Brad and Sanjay, will have more to say when they host the Standoff on New Zealand Sport Radio, 8 p.m. this Wednesday. That's me. Exit stage right. I'm out of here. Have a great day, everybody.
Yeah, and Brad and Sanjay both, thinking that the Titans are definitely building towards something over the next couple of seasons. So yes, they've been very impressed by them as well. So Stephen, have a fantastic day and stay safe. And everyone, let's move on now to the cycling news. And in the Tour de France, Tadej Pogačar won at stage 15 to take the 10-second bonus points on the line to slightly close the gap on Roglic, the leader. So now Roglic, who finished second on the stage, leads overall 40 seconds ahead of Tadej Pogačar. The big news of the day, though, was that last year's champion, Egan Bernal, cracked on the day, lost over 7 minutes and dropped down to 13th from third. So he was third going to the stage and finished 13th overall on that one. That means we now have Rigoberto Urán, the Colombian, in third, followed by Miguel Angel Lopez, Adam Yates, and Richie Porte of Australia in sixth. Richie Porte had a really good day, finishing third overall, ahead of all his other leadership, general classification contenders. If he hadn't lost that time with the crosswinds, he would really be competitive with the two Slovenians at the top there. But having a wonderful race, Richie Porte, the Australian, there, probably the last race he will get to be a leader at the last Grand Tour he'll be a leader at. Over in the Giro Rosa, and Marianne Vos won stage 3. But Annemieke van Vleuten retained the leader's jersey after finishing 5th in that one with a brutal climb to finish that day. Over in the Tirreno Adriatico, which is going into its final stage, will be today. In that one, Mathieu van der Poel won that stage, but Simon Yates retained the overall lead ahead of Rafael Majka and Geraint Thomas. And that is a warm-up race for the Giro d'Italia and Valletta España, the two other Grand Tours that will be starting soon. Moving on then into the rugby. We had the Mitre 10 Cup and the Farah Palmer Cup taking place yesterday. Stephen and myself made it, had a 10-hour round trip to go up and watch go up to Northland for the games up there. A wonderful 2 games with Northland just coming up short against Auckland in the Farah Palmer Cup, showing you how much Northland has improved in that one. They lost that 22-29. In the other Farah Palmer Cup yesterday, Otago Spirit saw off Hawke's Bay Tui 29-20 in that one. Over in the Mitre 10 Cup, and we had 3 games yesterday. Hawke's Bay, that's round 2. I want to look at. Northland beats Manawatu 43-26, really after trailing 20-3-20 after only 18 minutes. So good comeback there by Northland. Taranaki saw off Bay of Plenty 36-29, and Southland beats Hawke's Bay 16-10 in a real wet one down there. All the tries being scored by hookers off the obviously. So line-out mauls being a key scoring piece for that one. If you want to catch up on all of the action, including the from the Mitre 10 Cup, Farah Palmer Cup, and also Super Rugby AU, then you can watch our review show that we did that Archie and I recorded last night. That is available on our Facebook page, New Zealand Sports Radio, and also as a podcast. Just search for New Zealand Sports Radio on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio for our podcast recordings, and you can listen to us on the go. We will be live tonight at 8 p.m. with the Driving Maul Show, where we'll be talking about the Mitre 10 Cup, but we're not going to go through game by game like we did last night. So review the games last night, overall impressions as to what's going on, also having a look at the Wallabies squad that has been selected as well. In bowls, down in Southland, there was a 48-hour bowlathon down there for charity, where they raised over $12,000. So congratulations to the bowlers down there. We had a total of 288 players from 36 clubs taking part. They used one rink over 48 hours and there were 5,587 bowls were played. So absolutely fantastic what was going on down there this weekend. Well done to the Southland bowlers in raising that money. And you have now started the day the best way. Oh, actually, no, sorry, I nearly forgot the tennis news. And Osaka has won the US Open, beating Azarenka 1-6, 6-3, 6-3 in that one. So congratulations to Osaka, the fourth seed, who's come through and won the US Open. The men's singles will be taking place at 8 a.m. New Zealand time today, where Zverev will take on Thurman in that one. We'll have a first-time Grand Slam winner with when that has been decided, and we'll bring you news on that game tomorrow. And that now means you have started your day the best way, up to speed with all of the important sports news. Have a wonderful Monday, everybody. And don't forget to share this with your friends so they can have a wonderful day too. We'll be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning with the morning sports briefing, because we come to you 7 days a week, helping you have a wonderful day.